What up, my friends? I'm Dr. Titus Chu, and this is The Modern Brain. In a recent video I filmed for you guys, I shared with you one simple tip to help you sleep through the night. Now, some of you out there tried that out and you gave me some great feedback. You said, wow, I tried that one simple tip and I was able to sleep through the night for the first time in years. Some of you, though, reached out to me and said, well, Dr. Chu, I tried that out and it didn't really impact my sleep. And really, I don't have any trouble sleeping through the night. What I do have difficulty with is getting to sleep in the first place. The reason why it might not have worked for you is because that tip didn't address the underlying root cause for your sleep challenges. And so the key to unlocking any type of health challenge is, number one, to get to the root cause. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a very common root cause for your sleep challenges, and it might just be your genes. Do you have trouble falling asleep at night? When you get stressed or triggered, do you get really ramped up and it takes you a really long time to calm down and get back to baseline? Do you suffer from chronic pain or headaches or light and sound sensitivity? If you're a woman, do your symptoms get worse around your period? Or if you're a man, do you experience fatigue, belly fat, depression, or a low libido? If any of these symptoms resonate with you, your genes could be at the root cause for your sleep issues. Let me explain. There's a gene that's known as the catechol O methyltransferase gene, or COMT for short. The job of COMT is to get rid of neurotransmitters such as dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, aka adrenaline, from your system. If your COMT enzyme is balanced, then you will be alert, you'll feel focused. Typically, you'll be in good spirits, you're able to focus and stay focused for long periods of time, and you're great at learning new things. Now, that's if your COMT is balanced. But for many of you out there, especially if you struggle with the challenges I spoke about earlier, especially if you have difficulty falling asleep at night, your COMT enzyme might be a bit slower than normal. So if you have a genetic variation that impacts this gene of yours, when you get flooded with a stressful situation or you get triggered or you get upset, your bloodstream increases your levels of adrenaline and dopamine, two neurotransmitters that are involved in excitement and in thrills, but then the levels aren't able to clear out quick enough. And so you can end up feeling ramped up or irritated or even angry and aggressive if those things don't come back to balance, or what we call homeostasis. The great news is, though, you are not the slave to your genetics. If you so happen to have this genetic variation, it does not mean you are doomed to never getting a good night's rest for the rest of your life, or having to deal with chronic pain or headaches or light and sound sensitivity. Our genes are not our destiny, but rather they're just the blueprint. And so the beautiful thing is there's a whole field of research exploring what are known as epigenetics. And that refers to all the different signals that our genes get from our environment. Things such as the food we eat, the lifestyle choices we make, even the thoughts we think can turn on or turn off the genes leading to health or disease. Now it gets even more interesting here, especially when we talk about sleep challenges. Because if you're armed with this information, you have the ability to shift and to actually speed up that genetic process. So if you have high levels of adrenaline or dopamine coursing through your blood that makes it difficult for you to sleep at night, there's simple things that you can do to speed up that process, get rid of those excess neurotransmitters, and get a good night's sleep. The first thing you can do is increase your levels of magnesium. Magnesium is a master mineral that's involved in over 300 enzymatic processes in your brain and body. One of them being the speed at which your COMT enzyme gets rid of these neurotransmitters. So by increasing your levels of magnesium, you can help speed up a slowed COMT enzyme, allowing your nervous system to calm down. What are ways of increasing magnesium? Number one, you could take a supplement. I recommend the supplement magnesium threonate because the threonate compound, when attached to magnesium, helps it cross the blood-brain barrier, and that's where the magnesium can play a role in the COMT enzymes found within your nervous system. Those are the things that are going to help you get to sleep at night. What are other ways of getting magnesium? By eating foods that are high in magnesium, such as almonds or dark leafy vegetables, or Brazil nuts and pine nuts, which have really high levels of magnesium. So that's one way that you can speed up a slow COMT enzyme to help you fall asleep. The second way is to limit your intake of caffeine. Because if you have a slow COMT, when you drink caffeine, it can increase your levels of adrenaline and dopamine in your bloodstream, and that can, again, challenge that enzyme so that it has to deal with detoxifying more of those substances. The second reason why limiting caffeine could be really good is because if you drink excess caffeine, then you can actually be creating a magnesium deficiency. So it becomes this vicious cycle. So the second way of speeding up a slow COMT for better sleep is to lower your intake of caffeine, such as coffee or tea. So for me, for example, I love coffee and I love tea, but I always limit the amount I drink to 1 cup a day. I make sure to finish that cup before 2:00 p.m. Because if I go over that time, I know I'm going to have a really hard time getting to bed that night. And the third thing you can do to speed up a slow COMT enzyme for better sleep is to avoid plastics. Especially if you're using plastics and you're eating them inadvertently by storing food in plastic containers. The worst is if the food is actually hot or is acidic, it can actually leach those plastics into your food. And when you eat the food, you end up eating the plastics. Another place to watch out for plastic exposure too is bottled water. So not only is plastic bottled water bad for your body, it's also really bad for the environment. So investing like a glass jug that you can bring around to fill up your water will not only help limit your exposure to plastics, it also contribute to lessening our environmental impact on Mother Earth. And so by taking on these 3 simple tips to speed up your slow COMT enzyme, it can lead to better sleep, better health, and better brain health overall. No matter what the genetic cards that have been dealt for you in this game of life, you have the power to take charge of your destiny. By empowering yourself with this information, as well as taking actions, these 3 simple tips to help you get better sleep, you'll be making a huge investment, not only in terms of your sleep right now, but in your future health and your future self to come. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with one friend. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Dr. Titus Chu, and this has been The Modern Brain.